God always keeps his promises, even the famous ones, like Jeremiah 29:13. Gotcha. 11's good, though. It's a good verse, right? God's speaking to people who are in the middle of a hard season. And he says, Prophet Jeremiah speaking to people, says, God speaks. And he says, for I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Which he says like 170 times in his book, which tells me he was listening to the right voice. But he says, God speaks. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you, not to harm you. Plans to give you hope in a future. The problem is, that's actually not the promise. I always thought it was, right? That every plan that he had for me would be not to harm me, but to give hope and a future and purposeful. And if we look to define God based on our life circumstances, then we won't have an accurate picture of him. God then speaks immediately after he tells that he knows the plans, that he knows the plans. He's not planning on telling them to them. He just wants them to know, I know them. And yes, there are plans not to harm, plans to give you hope in a future. And then he tells us what to do in the midst of not knowing a single thing. He says, then you will call upon me, which is a direct contrast to like calling upon yourself. I do that a lot. He says, then you'll call upon me and come and pray to me. And he tells us about himself. He says, I'm going to listen to you. And here's the promise. You will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart. And then he says it again in verse 14. I will be found by you, which always makes me wonder. I wonder if that was actually the plan from verse 11, that we would find him. And take hold of this as a promise that if you seek to find him, you will find what you're looking for. If you step foot in church seeking inspiration, it's not promised. If you seek to finding the worst in other people, you actually will find that. But if you seek to find God in church, you'll find him. If you seek to find him in quiet time, you'll find him. You may not find amazing byproducts that you've been searching for. In fact, I wonder if that's maybe what we're seeking. But it's a promise. If you seek to find him, you'll find what you're looking for. And when you find him, I think you'll have everything you need, enough to trust him as the one who knows the plans, even if he doesn't plan on telling us all of them. Rather, he woos us. Trust me. And the place of trust begins not in declaring that you do. It's being honest even in the